Hey everyone, and welcome to the start of another reading vlog. So it is currently Monday. There is less than a week to go until the end of the month and the end of the magical readathon, and I am stressed because I haven't read as much as I wanted to this month. I was sick for the first few weeks of April, so I'm not going to be too hard on myself, but I haven't read as many books as I wanted to for the magical readathon. So my plan this week is to try and rectify that. The main book that I would like to try and finish before the weekend is Jade Legacy by Fonda. So this is the third book in the Greenbone saga, and I'm not going to talk about this book too much in this vlog other than when I finish it, because I am filming a spoiler-filled reading vlog for this, which I've been filming for literally a month. But hopefully I can finish this book this week and also finish that vlog. So that is my main goal for this week, is to finish Jade Legacy. It's been taking me a while to read, not because I've not been enjoying it, I have. I think this is going to be a 5 stars and a favourite of the year. The thing is that because I have the hardback and it's quite heavy, it takes a lot for me to find the motivation to want to physically pick it up, even though in my mind and in my heart I want to read it because I love it, I love the characters and I love the world. It's just that this is a brick and it's heavy to hold in the evening when I've already had a long day. So I have to be in the right mood to want to read this, but I am going to prioritise it this week. I've got, I think, just over 300 pages left. So I'm hoping if I read like 100 pages a day, then I can get through it before Friday, because I am going away this weekend and I know that I'm not going to read anything this weekend because I'm visiting a friend. I am also currently listening to the audiobook for Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. So I started this last week. This is the second book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, and I really enjoyed the first book. I have really enjoyed this series, and I really like the narration on the audiobook. I think because it's got multimedia, and this book in particular has a podcast element, it does work really well on audio because there's different voice actors that do the different characters, and there's like special effects and stuff to make it feel like a real podcast. I didn't think I was that far through it, but according to Scribd, I am 33% of the way through and I've got 7 hours left. So hoping I can also finish this week. Like I said, I am going to visit a friend at the weekend and it's about a 2 or 2.5 hour drive. So if I haven't finished the audiobook by Saturday when I'm driving up, then I can also listen to that in the car. Over the weekend, I also started a buddy read for Cersei by Madeline Miller. So that's going to be my Kindle read for the week. I read a little more actually this morning on my way into work because I take my Kindle with me on the train, and I wasn't sure about this book in the beginning. When I read the first few chapters, I was a little bit nervous that I wasn't going to like it because it's very character driven. It's based on Greek mythology and it follows this character Cersei through her life. So in the first few chapters, you learn how she came into the world and you learn about how her family treat her. And I mean, they don't treat her very nice. So it's not a very happy book. It is quite sad. There's this very melancholy tone to the writing, but I feel like I'm in it now. I'm about 20% of the way through, I think, but I'm enjoying it a lot more now than I did when I first started it. I like the writing and how it's very immersive. It's very beautiful, very flowery and very descriptive. So if that's not your kind of thing, then I don't know whether I would recommend this one. It feels very different to The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, which I read last year. So yeah, hopefully if I can finish Cersei and also Jade Legacy, then that'll be 2 more prompts for the magical readathon that I'll have ticked off. I don't know if I mentioned actually, but I don't have a particular calling in mind that I'm working towards. I'm trying to complete as many prompts as I can, and then I'm going to decide what calling I want to do or what calling I can do based on the lessons that I've completed. I didn't want to put any extra pressure on myself because I wasn't sure how my reading was going to go this month. But yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say in this intro. So I will catch up with you when I have reading updates. So it's now Wednesday afternoon, it's Wednesday lunchtime. I need to get back to work in like 5 minutes, but I wanted to do do a quick update because I didn't do one yesterday, and the reason I didn't vlog yesterday was because I was too busy finishing Jade Legacy by Fonda. This is a heavy book, it's a brick. I think I might have mentioned that actually in the intro to this vlog, but yeah, I ended up finishing Jade Legacy by Fonda and it was 5 stars. I am pretty sure that this is going to be one of my favourite books of the year, and it means that I have ticked off another book for the Magical Readathon because this was fulfilling the prompt for Inscription, which is to read an intimidating read, and this was very, very intimidating to me, not just because of the length, but because I loved Jade City and I really enjoyed Jade War, and so I was scared of this book because I love this series and I didn't want it to end, but it is over now, and oh my gosh, it was worth it. Like, it took me, I think, over a month to finish both Jade War and Jade Legacy. I do have a spoiler-filled reading vlog coming soon where I share my full thoughts, my full spoilery thoughts on Jade War and Jade Legacy, but just to summarise, I loved the characters throughout this series, and I love how the series as a whole spans so many years, and so you really do feel like you get to know this family, and oh my gosh, it was so good. It's really hard for me not to just gush about this series and to form coherent thoughts, but if you love political fantasy, or if you like the idea of a fantasy series that has a lot of family drama, then I would really, really recommend picking this up. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Just be warned though that this series, and this book in particular, is an emotional roller coaster. I cannot actually remember the last time I cried so much while reading a book. It broke me, and I mean, I do think that that's a good thing. I do like books that can make me cry because it just shows how good the writing is. I feel that invested in the characters and in what's happening. Like I said, 5 stars, and I feel like I need to take a break from fantasy for a while because what am I going to read next that's even going to compare to this? I don't know. I am also now over 50% of the way through Good Girl Bad Blood, and I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm listening to the audiobook on script, and I think I actually prefer the storyline in this book to the one in the first book. So the first book was more of a cold case kind of investigation, whereas this is a missing persons investigation, and I really like the mystery in this. Not sure how much more I'm going to read today because I need to get back to work now, and then I'm going out this evening for tapas, which I'm really excited about because I mean, I love tapas, and we're going to my favourite restaurant, which is like in the next town over from me. So yeah, very happy with how my reading is going so far this week. I think I'm on track to complete my Magical Readathon TBR. I don't know though, because I mean, Good Girl Bad Blood isn't actually on my Magical Readathon TBR. It is on my EUROVISIONATHON TBR though, because I can use this to represent the United Kingdom. But the only other book that I have on my Magical Readathon TBR that I would like to try and finish this week is Circe by Madeline Miller, and I can't even remember how much of it I've read. I think I'm on chapter 6 or 7, and it's not a fast read, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish that before the end of the week or before the end of the month, but I'm going to give it a good shot. I need to film my May TBR as well at some point because I've planned it. I know what books I'm going to be reading. I just need to actually sit down and film the video where I tell you what I'm going to be reading. So that was meant to go up tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to film it before tomorrow and edit it, so it's probably going to end up going up over the weekend now. I've been really bad at updating this vlog this week. It is now Friday, and boy am I glad it's Friday because this week has been a nightmare. I haven't even started editing this vlog, so I can't even remember what I've said so far, but I thought I would just sit down and have a chat about how things are going this week, even though, yeah, they're not really going great, I'm not gonna lie, but it's fine, and the weekend is gonna be much better, hopefully. This afternoon afternoon I did actually get a surprise book in the mail, and I was really confused initially because I knew I hadn't ordered anything, and it turns out that my dad sent me a present. So my dad has been reading all of John Grisham's backlist, and he sent me this, which is called Ford County Stories. I have no idea what this is about. I wonder if this is the one that he was telling me about actually when we spoke last week. I think it's about a lawyer in America's deep south, and I do like courtroom thrillers and I do like legal thrillers, so yeah, if you're watching this, Dad, thank you very much. I look forward to eventually reading this. Is it a collection of short stories? I feel like it's a collection of short stories. I do also actually have reading updates because I finished a book last night. I finished the audiobook for Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson, and I kind of want to give this 5 stars. I actually ended up enjoying this more than the first book, and I really enjoyed the first book. I think I just liked the mystery more in this one, and I felt like there was less characters and it was a little more polished in the way that things unfolded. The ending completely shocked me. I did not see that coming, and I'm really interested to see what direction the third book goes in, because yeah, there's a lot that happens towards the end of this book that I can't really talk about, but I do feel like it's going to have repercussions for the third book. Because this is a YA series, there are moments where the main character feels very frustrating because she's 18 and she's a teenager, and 18-year-olds are frustrating and they can be a little bit arrogant at times, and they think they know best when really they don't, and there's a little bit of that with the main character in this series, but I do feel like it's realistic in the way that it's written. Yeah, considering that I don't read a lot of YA, I am really enjoying this series, and I'm hoping that the third book isn't a letdown because I have heard very, very mixed reviews about it, but I think I might actually start the audiobook on my way to Southport tomorrow. The only other thing that I think I have left to talk about is what I'm currently reading. So I'm still reading Circe by Madeline Miller, and I'm enjoying this a lot more now. I found it really difficult to get into, and I think it's because it's very info dumpy in the beginning. It just dumps a whole load of information on you, and I really found that jarring. However, now that I'm into it, I quite like it. I like Circe, and I like how the writing's very beautiful, and I do feel like I've been transported to this island where Circe is living. I think it's more a case of this book not quite working for me rather than it being a bad book, because there's a lot of descriptions and it's very beautiful, the writing, I think I've said that already, but there's not really much dialogue to go alongside that to break up the text. You're basically just spending all your time in Circe's mind, and it's, yeah, not bad. It's just, I think it's going to be a lot slower for me to get through than I was expecting. I think that's everything that I wanted to say in this update. Like I said, I am going away this weekend, so I will catch up with you when I'm back, and I think I might end this vlog by doing a bit of a wrap up of all the books that I read for the Magical Readathon and what prompts they fulfilled, and we can pick a calling. I can actually see what calling I can do with the books that I've read, because I didn't plan that. So it's, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's hopefully going to be a nice and relaxing but fun weekend.
Another lazy afternoon, the clouds covered in grey, third coffee of the day. Almost fell asleep on Zoom, I yawn at the display, third meeting of the day. But I can hear raindrops tap dancing on the roof. It's like they're calling out, don't lose your youth, 'cause I can stay inside and type away inside. Oh, make today just a little less mundane. Oh.
So I am here to wrap up this vlog and also wrap up my reading for the Magical Readathon, because the Readathon has actually ended now. It is currently Monday the 3rd. I don't actually know when this vlog is going to end up going live. It was meant to go live yesterday, but I was too tired when I got back from visiting my friends. So I'm just going to go through, drag my laptop over. I'm just going to go through all of the books that I finished in time before the end of the Readathon on. I did end up starting another book over the weekend. I started reading As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson, which is the third book in the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. Not really enjoying it so far, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm really disappointed. I think the main issue that I'm having is that there's just no logic at all to this story. The characters don't feel like the same characters from the previous two books, and it's just going in a direction that I don't like and that I don't agree with, so yeah. Not enjoying that, unfortunately, but I didn't read it in time for the end of the readathon to be able to count it. So in total, I did actually end up finishing 6 books for the readathon. The first book I finished was Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno-Garcia, which I read for the restoration prompt, which was to read a book featuring healers. I then read 7 Days in June by Tia Williams for the alchemy prompt, which was to read a book featuring romance. Next I finished The River of Silver by S.A. Chakraborty for spells and incantations, which was to read a short story collection or essays. I then read The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley for the conjuration prompt, which was to read a book with a source of light on the cover. I then finished Jade Legacy by Fonda for the inscription prompt, which was to read an intimidating read. Finally, I finished Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson, which I am using for the artificiary prompt, which is to read a book which has an earth setting. I have no idea what calling I want to go for because there's 3 that I qualify for: Herbology, Craftsmage and Abjurer. And I think Abjurer is the one that most appeals to me because the Abjurers are experts in defensive magic, and I had a quick look on the Mindwalkers Guild Discord group, and apparently there aren't many Abjurers within the Mindwalkers Guild, so I think that's probably the one that I'm gonna go for. But yeah, I have had the best time doing the magical readathon. I think I made the right decision actually by deciding to choose my calling afterwards, because I obviously didn't end up reading as much as I wanted to this month because I was sick for the first 2 weeks. So I'm glad that it was a lot more chilled than I think it could have been. I think if I'd chosen my calling beforehand, then I would have felt really stressed trying to finish books in time to be able to count them. But I'm really happy with how my reading has gone. So yeah, I think that's everything that I wanted to say in this video. Let me know in the comments if you've been taking part in the magical readathon. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and click subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.